My name is C.H. Shankar, lecturer in zoology, Government Degree College for Women's, Karimnagar. Today we discuss about endocrine glands. Generally, these glands also called ductless glands. So these glands may not having duct or vessels. So generally, glands are two types. First one is exocrine gland. Second one is endocrine gland. Exocrine gland also called duct glands. Generally, these glands are digestive glands. The exocrine glands are digestive glands, especially liver, pancreas, and intestinal gland and salivary glands and etc. So these are the duct glands. So generally these glands secrete some secretion. That secretions are entering into cavities, especially intestine, through ducts or vessels. So that is the reason why these are called duct glands. The second type of glands are called endocrine glands. Endocrine glands. So these glands can secrete the hormones only. These glands secrete the hormones only. And one more thing here we have to remember here: these glands haven't ducts or vessels. These glands haven't ducts or vessels. So that is the reason why these glands are called endocrine glands. Generally, these endocrine glands release the hormones. Generally, the endocrine glands release the hormones. So these hormones are called first messengers. So you know about from that stimulation of first messenger, second messenger also produced. So you know about a number of endocrine glands. Generally, pituitary gland, pineal gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, and uh, adrenal gland. These are the different types of glands. Okay, so today we discuss about human digestive system, nothing but. So in human beings a number of glands are there. First one is the pineal gland and hypothalamus and pituitary gland. This one is the thyroid gland and parathyroid gland, and thymus. This is also adrenal thymus gland, and this is also endocrine gland and adrenal gland and pancreas, and in female ovary, and in males and testes. These all are endocrine glands. So generally the ovary and testis related to the reproductive system, so and one more thing, intestine also can secrete some uh, hormones. So intestine also can secrete some hormones like gastrin, secretin, cholecystokinin, so introgastrin, villikinin, duokinin. So these are the hormones which is released by the intestine or gastro intestine. Okay, so now next we have to discuss about some glands. First one is pituitary gland and hypothalamus. Okay, so now hypothalamus is the basement of the brain, or it is the basement of the brain, and below the diencephalon the hypothalamus is present. So actually hypothalamus is the actual control center of the all endocrine glands. Hypothalamus actual control of the all endocrine glands. So now pituitary gland. So this is largest endocrine gland. So this gland present a small pit, that is sella turcica. The pituitary gland present in a small pit, that pit is called sella turcica. This pituitary gland structure near to the uh, p p size, near to the p size. Okay, so first one is pituitary gland, a tiny organ the size of a pea, found at the base of the brain, that is nothing but below the hypothalamus, as the master gland of the body. So pituitary gland is called master gland of the body. It is also called master gland of endocrine system, and it produces and secretes many hormones that travel throughout the body. Okay, that travel throughout the body, directing certain processes, stimulating the other glands to produce the different types of hormones. So the pituitary gland stimulates the other glands, then only they can producing the hormones. So this pituitary gland is also called hypophysis. This pituitary gland is called hypophysis. Okay, and here this is about pituitary gland structure. So above hypothalamus is there, and below, so this is a pituitary gland is present. Okay, so the pituitary gland having especially pituitary stalk, and this one is gland, and the gland having two regions, anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary, anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary, and between and pars intermedia, one more um, uh, substance, one more area is there between two anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. And the hypothalamus, number of somas are present. These are nothing but neurons body, and the axons are entering into the posterior pituitary. Axons are entering into the posterior pituitary. So between from hypothalamus to pituitary gland, the pituitary stack is present. Pituitary stack is present. Actually, the hypothalamus can release the hormones where the posterior pituitary secretes. Actually, antidiuretic hormone and relaxin, both hormones are released by the brain, nothing but. So the production of these hormones takes place in hypothalamus, and it reaches to the posterior pituitary by these axons. And one more thing here we have to discuss about here, the hypophyseal tract is present. The some channels or paths, the substances released into the pituitary, so this is called hypophyseal tract. Okay, this is about the pituitary and hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is the master control of all endocrine system. Earlier we have to discuss about pituitary gland is the master control, but actually the actual controller is hypothalamus. Actual controller is hypothalamus. Next, anterior pituitary. So the front portion of the pituitary is called adenohypophysis. Adenohypophysis. Actually, the anterior pituitary body producing from Rathke's pouch. Especially, this is the one ejection of the alimentary canal. Ejection of the alimentary canal, and one more ejection that is from the brain. So two ejections are combined, and then the pituitary gland is present. The pituitary gland is produced. Pituitary gland is produced. So this is about anterior pituitary. This is actual part of alimentary canal. Okay. So now the anterior pituitary can secrete the number of hormones. First one is follicle stimulating hormone. Follicle stimulating hormone. So this hormone is called FSH. FSH. So this is act on gonads. That is the reason why this hormone is called gonadotropic hormone. It is also called gonadotropic hormone. And cells are gonadotropic cells are secreted, and these hormones are act on the ovaries and testes. These hormones act on the ovaries and testes, and so the action, the stimulates the production of eggs and sperms and regulate the reproductive functioning. Okay. So generally in ovaries, the ova production stimulated by these FSH, and in testes, the especially the seminiferous tubules. The seminiferous tubules are stimulated by these follicle stimulating hormone. And second hormone, that is called luteinizing hormone. So this is also act on the ovaries and testes. And the here in uterine female reproductive system, prepare the uterus for implantation of fertilized eggs. So generally whenever the fertilization is takes place, before that, so the luteinizing hormone ready to stimulate the implantation, to ready to stimulate the uterus for implantation of fertilized egg. So this is about luteinizing hormone. And third hormone, that is called thyroid stimulating hormone. So thyroid stimulating hormone. So this is the thyrotrope cells are secreted, and these thyroid stimulating hormone act on thyroid gland. Okay. So now the thyroid gland can secrete the T3 T4 thyroxine, T3 T4. So this is about thyroid hormones. And so next, adrenocorticotropic hormone. So generally these hormone act on the adrenal cortex. So the stimulate the release of some hormone from adrenal cortex. Okay, stimulate the release of some hormones from adrenal cortex. So generally glucocorticoids, mineral corticoids, and sex corticoids are there. So that hormones are released, stimulated by these adrenocorticotropic hormone. And next, growth hormone. Okay, growth hormone. So this hormone is also called somatotropin. So this hormone act on the liver and adipose tissue and bones. So next, the growth hormone act on the throat, all body cells. So this hormone can stimulate the protein synthesis and growth in cells. Protein synthesis, growth in cells, and one more thing, prolactin. So this hormone act on the mammary gland, stimulate the milk production, and one more thing here, the melanocyte stimulating hormone. So this is released by pars intermedia. So it stimulates the melanocytes of the skin, increase their production of skin pigment that is called melanin. Okay, so melanin is a pigment which is present in the skin cells. So that melanocytes are stimulated by these hormones. Okay, so these are the different hormones released by these anterior pituitary. Okay, so follicle stimulating hormone stimulate the production of eggs and sperms, and luteinizing hormone, it is prepare the uterus for embryo implantation, and thyroid stimulating hormone, so it can act on the thyroid gland, can secrete the thyroxine, and adrenocorticotropic hormone act on the adrenal cortex and stimulate that cortex and release that particular hormones. And growth hormone act on the all total body. So in growth hormone, the growth hormone, the stimulate the protein synthesis and growth in cells, and prolactin stimulates the milk production in mammary glands, and melanocyte stimulating hormone. So this hormone act on the melanocytes which is present in the skin, they can produce in the melanin. It's a special protein. This protein causes to skin color, and posterior pituitary, the back portion of the pituitary, it is called neurohypophysis. It is nothing but neurons. Next, here these neurohypophysis can really release the two types of hormones, that is called antidiuretic hormone and oxytocin. So antidiuretic hormone act on the kidneys and arterioles, stimulate the contraction of uterus during the birth. Okay, so release the milk nursing mothers and water and increase the blood pressure. Okay, so here the main antidiuretic hormone main functioning is there. Whenever in body there is no proper amount of water, immediately ADH was released, so that ADH act on the uh, distal convoluted tubule which is present in the nephron. So the antidiuretic hormone can collect the water from that area. So whenever we are in stress condition and water stress, so ADH was more amount of released into our blood, so the kidneys recollect the water from formation of urine. So that is the reason why the low amount of urine is formed. And second hormone is called oxytocin. So this oxytocin act on the uterine and mammary gland. Okay, the uterine contraction and the lactation is takes place. Uterine contraction and lactation is takes place. Generally, this act whenever the what is uh, childbirth takes place, whenever the parturition is takes place, so this oxytocin was released. So this is about what is pituitary gland, and abnormalities of pituitary glands. So some abnormalities are there. So the this pituitary gland secretes the maximum number of hormones in the human body that regulate the growth and development, especially that regulate the growth and development. Okay, so first, diabetes insipidus caused due to insufficient secretion of vasopressin secreted by the posterior pituitary gland. Okay, so insufficient secretion of vasopressin that leads to diabetes insipidus, a condition characterized by excessive thirst and excretion of large amount of uh, severely diluted urine. Okay, this is about diabetes insipidus. So the insufficient secretion of vasopressin, so that leads to diabetic insipidus. So the vasopressin is also called antidiuretic hormone. So in general, the man daily he may excrete 2 to 3 liters of urine, but uh, the excess amount of antidiuretic hormones are released. So the more amount of the deficiency of vasopressin leads to the more amount of urine production takes place in the human beings. Okay, so this is diabetes insipidus and acromegaly. So it is caused due to overproduction of growth hormone. So it is caused due to overproduction of growth hormone here. So this type of disorder takes place at 21 years after the growth hormones are released. So that is the reason why the lower jaw overgrowth takes place, and the bone edges overgrowth takes place, that leads to gorilla form. So this type of situation is called acromegaly. Okay, so next, bulging of facial bones, bulging of facial bones. Next, so here the acromegaly characteristics: cheekbones are obvious, forehead bulge, jaws enlarged, facial lines prominent, forehead and overlying skin is thickened. So these are the acromegaly characteristics. So cheekbones are obvious and forehead bulge and jaws enlarged and facial line prominent, forehead and overlying skin is thickened. Next, prolactinoma. So is a tumor that causes increased secretion of prolactin. So is a tumor that causes increased secretion of prolactin, can be observed in males and females. Prolactinoma. Okay, and sex hormone disorders. Generally, the pituitary gland secretes the various sex hormones that alter the secretion of these effects of the sexual development or regulation of sexual characteristics. Regulation of sexual characteristics. Okay, so next one, hypothalamus. So the hypothalamus means literally under thalamus. Okay, and this is a diagram of thalamus and hypothalamus. Okay, so functions here, the main functions of hypothalamus: maintain the homeostasis, links the nervous system to the endocrine system via pituitary gland, responsible for certain metabolic process and other activities of the autonomic nervous system. The ANS affects heart rate and digestion, respiration rate, salivation and perspiration, and diameter of pupils, and micturition and sexual arousal. Control the body temperature, hunger, thirst, fatigue, sleep, and circadian cycles. So these are the maintenance of hypothalamus. Okay, and the synthesis and secrete the certain neurohormones called hypothalamic releasing hormones, and these in turn stimulate or inhibit the secretion of pituitary hormones. So growth hormone releasing hormone, growth hormone inhibiting hormone, two types of hormones are there. So that is the reason why all pituitary gland hormones releasing factors are there, and inhibition factors are there. So these hormones are released by this hypothalamus. Okay, and releasing hormone secreted by the hypothalamus, that is thyrotropin releasing hormone, and corticotropin releasing hormone, and gonadotropin releasing hormone, and growth hormone releasing hormone. Okay, so four types of releasing hormones are there. And thyrotropin releasing hormone, TRH, stimulates the release of thyroid stimulating hormone and prolactin by anterior pituitary. And corticotropin releasing hormone involved in the stress response. Corticotropin releasing hormone involved in the stress response. Its main functioning in the stimulates the pituitary synthesis of ACTH. Okay, so now gonadotropin releasing hormone responsible for the release the follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone from anterior pituitary. Okay, so this is gonadotropin releasing hormone, then responsible for releasing of FSH and LH. And growth hormone releasing the hormone of growth hormone. So this is releasing hormone for growth hormone. And inhibitory hormones, some hormones also inhibitory function released by these hypothalamus. And somatostatin inhibit the release of growth hormone, and thyroid stimulating hormone. The somatostatin can inhibit the growth hormone and thyroid stimulating hormone. And dopamine inhibit the release of prolactin from the anterior lobe of pituitary. So inhibit the release of prolactin from the anterior lobe of pituitary. So dopamine is also neurohormone. Dopamine is also neurohormone. Okay, and here dopamine play a key role for the um, action potential transmission from one neuron to another neuron. So this is sometimes deficiency takes place that leads to Parkinson disease, especially in old men's or aged men's. Okay. So next, pineal gland. Okay, so this is a pineal gland is a special gland which is present below the hippocampus, and this is a photosensitive organ in the brain, also called epiphysis. The pineal gland also called epiphysis, and like a petite pin cone, it maintains the body natural rhythms like waking up and falling asleep. Generally, the pineal gland can maintain the sleep-wake cycles. Sleep-wake cycles is also responsible for the complete visual map of the eye. It is useful for visual map of the eye. It is nothing but formation of image by the eyes. Okay, and this is about uh, mm, pineal gland and hormones secreted. So in the absence of light, the pineal gland secretes the melatonin, which can influence the secretions of the um, gonads and influence in the sexual activity. So the melatonin play a key role the sexual activity. Melatonin play a key role in the sexual activity, and so in winter the hamster sexual activity is suppressed because melatonin levels are high due to long nights. So if the long nights are takes place, the melatonin levels are very high in that particular time. In hamsters in winter, the sexual activity is suppressed. The sexual activities is suppressed. Okay, these are the melatonin hormone. And one more important gland that is called thyroid gland. Thyroid gland. తమ్ముడిని మళ్ళీ చేస్తా ఒక పావుగంట తర్వాత. Okay, next, thyroid gland. Next, this is a special gland um, this is the special gland. This is a special gland. Okay, generally the thyroid gland present on the throat, either side of the throat. So is the base of the neck in the front of tracheo or windpipe. So this one is a thyroid gland. So thyroid gland. So the main hormones are thyroxine, triiodothyronin, calcitonin. So these are the three main hormones released by the thyroid gland. Generally thyroid gland looks like a butterfly shape. So two lobes are present, right thyroid gland and left thyroid gland. So these two lobes are combined with middle part, that is called isthmus. Okay, so this is about thyroid gland. The thyroid gland having major role in the basal metabolism rate. The thyroid gland release the thyroxine, triiodothyronin, calcitonin. Okay, and thyroxine. So generally the thyroid is in two forms, triiodothyronin, tetraiodothyronin. So first one is a tetraiodothyronin. So is the major hormone secreted by the follicular cell of the thyroid gland, with 99.95% of secreted T4 being protein. Okay, so the T4 being a protein bound principally to thyroxine binding globular protein. So thyroxine binding globulin TGB, to a lesser extent thyroxine binding uh, pre-albumin and albumin. Okay, so this about T4 thyroxine and T3. So is 34 times more potent than T4. Only 15% of total normal T3 concentration is directly secreted by the follicular cells, which is with 99.5 of secreted 3 T T3 being bound to the same proteins as T4, and these 3T34 attached to the TGB, TBG, and TBPA. Okay, so this is about thyroxine and calcitonin. It is secreted by the C cells of the thyroid gland. Its function is totally unrelated to the other thyroid hormone since it's involved in the calcium homeostasis. Calcitonin can involve in the calcium homeostasis. Okay, this is about calcitonin. Okay, so common thyroid problems: the concentration of the production of hormones too much or too little due to increased growth of thyroid, causing compression of important neck structures, or simply appearing as a mass in the neck. So here the overgrowth of thyroid gland, nothing but the formation of nodules or lumps within the thyroid, which are worrisome for the presence of thyroid cancer. So that is sometimes we are treated the thyroid cancer. So but the whenever the iodine deficiencies takes place, and that leads to thyroid disorder. Okay, and here the goiter. So generally in a dramatic enlargement of the thyroid gland, so the common among women, the most common cause goiter is iodine deficiency. Okay, here the clearly we can visible in photograph the large enlargement of thyroid gland. Okay, and thyroid cancer is the thyroid neoplasm that is malignant. It can be treated with radioactive iodine or surgical resection of the thyroid gland. Chemotherapy or radiotherapy may also be used. This is about thyroid cancer. And hyperthyroidism, the overactive tissue within the thyroid gland cause an overproduction of thyroid hormone T3 or T4. That thus a cause of thyrotoxicosis is clinical condition of increased thyroid hormone in the blood. So whenever the hyperthyroidism takes place, some disorders are there. Generally the there are worriness in human beings, and release of sweat, and over weakness. These are the hyperthyroidism. And one more thing here, the hypothyroidism also takes place in hypothyroidism. So generally some disorders are there. So the easily get the easily uh, gain the weight, and they are uneasiness, they are suffering from uneasiness, they are dullness. So these are the hypothyroidism characteristics. Okay, next parathyroid gland. Okay, so parathyroid gland, so the parathyroid gland or endocrine glands usually in four numbers. Generally, four parathyroid glands are there below, above the this thyroid gland, and parathyroid, it is located on the front of the neck, close the tips of the thyroid lobes. So these are the four parathyroid glands are there. So these hormones are secreted. Parathyroid hormone function regulates the levels of calcium, phosphorus, and magnesium. So this is essential for bone mineralization. Okay, so parathyroid hormone release the parathyroid gland release the hormone that is called parathormone. So it can regulate the levels of calcium, phosphorus, and magnesium, essential for bone mineralization, essential for bone mineralization. So this is about parathormone. And disorder of parathyroid gland, hypoparathyroidism, hyperparathyroidism. So hypoparathyroidism, so inadequate production of parathyroid hormone. This is caused by the blood calcium levels. The disease characterized by low blood calcium level due to diminished or absence of parathyroid hormone production, or absence of parathyroid glands. So the low production of parathyroid gland leads to, so especially this is hypoparathyroidism. And the symptoms: tingling of lips and muscles, and muscle cramps, leads to muscle spasm, and brittle hands, and dry hair, cataract formation. So these are the symptoms. And treatment, so restoration of calcium associated minerals in the body. Okay, so this is about hypoparathyroidism and hyperparathyroidism. So release the associate with an excessive amount of parathyroid hormone. release the associated with excessive amount of parathyroid hormone. So hyperparathyroidism can be caused by idiopathic enlargement of one or more of glands by parathyroid adenoma in presence of abnormal low calcium levels in the blood. Low calcium levels in the blood that leads to this type of situation. Okay, so this is hyperparathyroidism can be caused by idiopathic enlargement of one or more of the glands by parathyroid adenoma. It is nothing but a cancer. Symptoms: fatigue, overweight gain, and back pain and joint pain, and fractures of long bones, and decreased height, increased urine output, and increased thirst, and epigastric pain, loss of appetite, nausea, muscle weakness, depression, personality changes, stupor, and possible coma, itching of skin, cataracts, clay colored stools, nail abnormalities, diarrhea or bone pain, and tenderness. These are the symptoms. And prevention: early detection of vitamin D deficiency. Okay, so this is about parathyroid gland. And one more thing, thymus gland. So this gland location, this is behind the breastbone, between the two lungs, behind the breastbone, between the two lungs. Okay, this is about thymus gland. So the thymus gland can secrete the special hormone. So hormone secreted. First one is thymosin, may induce the formation and early development of T lymphocytes, which is integral for the immune system. Children with immunodeficiency disease showed significant improvement when provided with the thymosin. Okay, generally, so the thymosins may induce the formation of early development of T lymphocytes. So thymosin release the thymus gland release the hormone, so that hormones are stimulate the lymphocytes, especially T lymphocytes. The T lymphocytes play a vital role in um, immunity system. Okay, the T lymphocytes are CD4 cells, CD8 cells, natural killer cells, and killer cells. These are the different types of special cells which is present in the WBC. Okay, and adrenal gland. Okay, this is the special gland which is present above on the kidneys. So this is about adrenal gland. Okay, and adrenal gland, so this is also called emergency gland or forest gland. Emergency gland and forest gland here. So this gland has cortex and mm, cortex and pith. So two regions are there. Okay, next, adrenal gland. So are two small glands that are located superior to each kidney. Adrenal glands are two small glands that are located to superior to each kidney, encased in a connective tissue capsules that is usually partially buried in an island of fat. The adrenal gland lie beneath the peritoneum, so that is called retroperitoneal. So it has two distinctive components, namely adrenal medulla inner part and adrenal cortex. So generally adrenal gland have medulla and cortex. So here we can see in a diagram. So the outer layer is called cortex, so light yellow color, and thick yellow color, that is called medulla. So these two kidneys are above the kidneys. Some adrenal glands are there. Okay, and adrenal medulla. Okay, so generally here so this is a medulla inner part and cortex is outer part. So first we discuss about medulla. So the medulla consists of many large columnar cells, that is chromaffin cells. The chromaffin cells are present in medulla. These synthesize and secrete the catecholamines. Okay, the principal hormone released adrenal medulla, epinephrine or adrenaline. Epinephrine or adrenaline or norepinephrine. Epinephrine, norepinephrine, adrenaline, noradrenaline. So These two types of hormones are there. Adrenaline, epinephrine, norepinephrine is released in response to stimulate by the sympathetic nervous system, which become most active when the person is excited or physically active. So these catecholamines are released whenever we are physically active by these adrenal gland. The stress and low blood glucose level can increase the sympathetic stimulation of adrenal medulla. Stress and low blood glucose levels can increase the sympathetic stimulation of adrenal medulla. So whenever we are in stress condition and low blood glucose conditions, so the epinephrine and norepinephrine are released, so that hormones act on the liver and other body parts. The glucose are released. Glucose is production is takes place, and so the hyperactivation is takes place. So that is the reason why this gland is also called Forest gland. Forest gland. So this adrenaline, noradrenaline is also called fight or flight hormone. Okay, some major effects of the hormone released by adrenal medulla. Okay, here increase the release of glucose from liver, fatty acids from the fat stores. Increase the glucose from the liver, fatty acids from the fat stores. So from the fats, the glucose also can produce. That is called gluconeogenesis. Okay. Next, increase the blood flow to skeletal muscle. Increase the blood flow skeletal muscle and to heart, and increase the metabolic rate in skeletal and cardiac muscles as well as nervous system. Okay, increased in metabolic rate in skeletal and cardiac muscle as well as nervous system. So whenever we are in stress condition, so this type of activities are going on. Rate and depth of the breathing is increased. So whenever we are in stress condition, the rate and depth of the breathing is also increased. Force of muscular contraction is improved. Force of muscular contraction also improve. Decrease the functions of visceral organ. Decrease the functions of visceral organ. So this is the main function of what is adrenaline. And response to hormone from adrenal medulla reinforce the effect of sympathetic division of the autonomic nervous system. So here the adrenal function, the flight or fight hormone. Okay, the adrenal medulla and the sympathetic division function together prepare the body for physical activity to help to cope with the stressful situation, to produce the fight or flight response, and to produce many of these responses to stress. So this is called flight or fight hormone. Whenever we are in stress condition, immediately adrenaline is released. So whenever the adrenaline released, so heart rate is increased, respiratory breath rate is increased, and BMR is increased, and in blood glucose level is increased, and oxygen levels are increased. So total the organism fight or escape from the predators. Fight or escape from the predator. So that is the reason why this is a stress hormone. That is the reason why this is nothing but a stress hormone. Okay, now so this is about adrenal right and left adrenal glands. Okay, next adrenal cortex. Okay, so the outer part of adrenal gland, the adrenal cortex consists of three concentric zones of steroid synthesizing cells, so glomerular and fasciculata and reticularis. So the adrenal cortex consists of three concentric zones steroid synthesizing cells, glomerular, fasciculata, reticularis. It produces three major groups of steroid hormones, especially mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids, and sex corticoids. Glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids and sex corticoids. Okay, so this is about adrenal gland structure here. And so this outer layer is capsule. Above this rectangular diagram, and the first one is zona glamerulosa, in middle zona fasciculata, and below zona reticularis. So total inside that is medulla. Okay, so first one is cortex and medulla. Okay, this is about structure of this adrenal gland. Okay, and so mineral corticoids. So known also as aldosterone. It is nothing but major mineral corticoid, and it is produced by the outermost adrenal cortex cell layer. It regulates the mineral or salt content of the blood, particularly the concentration of sodium and potassium ions. Okay, aldosterone can maintain the particularly sodium and potassium ions. Their target is the kidney tubules, especially the aldosterone act on the kidney tubules, and that selectively reabsorb the minerals or allow them to flush it out of the body in the urine. If the excess amount of the sodium and potassium is present, they flush out of the body by in the urine. It helps to regulate the both water and electrolyte balance in the body fluids. So the aldosterone can regulate the both water and electrolytes balance in the body fluids. Okay, so this is about aldosterone. Okay, here one more thing here, we have to discuss about the RAS, renin angiotensin uh, system. Okay, RAS system is there. So this is about blood pressure. So here we have to discuss about the Angiotensin. Whenever renin act on this, the angiotensin 1 is formed. So from the angiotensin 1, so angiotensin converting enzyme, so now the angiotensin 2 is generated. Angiotensin 2 is generated. So this hormone act on the what is adrenal gland, and the angiotensin raises the blood pressure. So immediately the adrenal gland release the aldosterone. So aldosterone act on the these kidneys. So the salt retention is takes place. So that leads to blood pressure. Generally the RAS system can maintain our blood pressure 120 by 80. So for that so the um, this type of renin angiotensin aldosterone system, so this one is maintained by the our kidneys. So this is about RAS system. Okay, now so glucocorticoids, so it helps to regulate the blood nutrient levels in the body. It helps to regulate the blood nutrient levels in the body. It produces a major hormone called cortisol. It produces a major hormone called cortisol. Cortisol increases the breakdown of proteins and fat and increase their conversion to forms that can can be used as energy sources of body. So cortisol increase the breakdown of protein and fat and increase their conversion to forms that can be used as energy source of the body. So it reduces the inflammatory and immune responses. Okay, so the cortisol also can reduce the inflammatory and immune responses by decreasing edema, and they reduce pain by inhibiting some pain causing molecules called prostaglandins. So they can inhibiting some pain causing molecules called prostaglandins. So the prostaglandins are pain causative molecules. So these molecules are inhibited by this cortisol. Okay, so this is about glucocorticoids. And one more thing here, the sex hormones are androgens. These are called sex corticoids. And both male and female sex hormones are produced by the adrenal cortex throughout life in relatively small amounts. So small amounts of sex hormones released by both male and female. Androgen have the ability to stimulate the development of male sexual characteristics. So generally, androgens develop the male sexual characteristics, and in females, the adrenal androgens influence the female sex drive. Here, in female, the adrenal androgens influence the female sex drive. If the secretion is very high, it result exaggerated male characteristics develop in the both males and females, but this condition is most apparent in females and in males before puberty. So in before puberty time, this type of situation occurs in this um, system. So this is about adrenal gland. So next, in adrenal, some diseases are there, especially adrenal insufficient. It is low. Okay, so Addison's disease. So it is caused by the failure to produce the inadequate levels of cortisol. This can be caused by the disorder of the adrenal gland. Autoimmune disorders. The disorder causes the body's immune system to gradually destroy the adrenal cortex. So this is nothing but autoimmune disorder. It is failure to produce adequate levels of cortisol. So This can be caused by disorder adrenal gland. Okay, this is about Addison disease. And one more disease is called Cushing's disease. As a result excessive production of corticosteroids by adrenal gland and overproduction of corticotropin, the hormone that controls the adrenal gland by this pituitary gland. So the stimulates the adrenal gland to produce the corticosteroids. Could be can cause it also be an excessive cortisol level blood, which may be result of tumor of the pituitary gland, adrenal gland, or from the tumors or cancer arising elsewhere in the body. So it results moon phase and buffalo hump and pheochromatoma, begins tumor, neoblastoma and malignant tumor. Okay, so symptoms result from release the large amount of epinephrine and norepinephrine and include hypertension, sweating, nervousness, polar and trachea. So this is about the disorders of adrenal gland. Disorders of adrenal gland. Okay, so shall we stop here?